guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft. Okay, and continuing in the Kukri series, recently you saw me stripping the bark off of a dingle stick, a pot tool that I'm going to be utilizing. And something that I want to bring up is the care of the Kukri. Now, you of course don't want to be dinging it into rocks and etc. But one of the things that happens with a Kukri, if you're using it a lot, is sap is going to build up along the edge because you're cutting through woods and etc. If you're cutting kind of sappy woods, or you're cutting something like fat wood or fat lighter or certain other hardwoods, it will become very noticeable very quick. And this causes the edge of your knife to dig or drag rather than slice many times. And people will say that, oh, my knife got dull when I was doing that. Actually, the knife got dull because the sap and stuff stuck to the edge. So you need to clean it. Now, you can clean it with several different methods, but one of the things that they incorporate into the traditional Kukri sheath is, I don't know if I can show you that. Hold on, let me turn it down and I'll show you. Okay, on the traditional Kukri sheath, there are two additional knives. These are not actually knives. One is, in fact, a little knife edge. And it's fairly blunt, but you can make a pretty good edge on it if you take your time. And the other one is a square. It's thick and blunt, you see. But it's very, very, very hard. And it has these four 90-degree edges. Used for is for straightening and cleaning the edge of your Kukri. Because what you're going to do is, you're going to take it and put that 90-degree edge on there, just like you take the 90-degree edge of a knife to try to strip bark. And you're going to scrape the edge of the Kukri to clean that crud off the edge and resharpen it. You'll also know instantly if you got any kind of nicks because you'll feel it right up and over it. And so then you bring out your file and take care of those. But let me show you how I use this on the edge of my Kukri. I'm going to go up to a tree and I'm going to stick it in the edge of the tree for safety. Now I'm going to stick it up here on the edge, and using it as a 90-degree edge, I'm going to wipe away from the edge. I don't want to slip and go into this edge. So I wipe, slide it along, and wipe away from that edge. Keeping the angle that is there, but bearing down. And if you feel it start to kind of slide, take your finger and wipe it. And doing that very carefully, you'll get all that crud off the edge. And when I turn it back over, I'm going to go up and away from me. Being careful to stay with the angle. I don't want to roll it over and roll the edge. I'm actually cleaning the edge and also removing anything that's built up on it. And this is also, in essence, kind of honing the edge. And you can, if you've got a good one of these, actually hone the edge in the field with it and sharpen it up. And I can tell a very noticeable difference right there, bringing my edge back just by doing that. That's what that little tool is for. It also makes a pretty good awl for making a hole in a piece of leather or a piece of wood. But these sharp 90-degree edges on this are for truing up the edge. Now, I didn't know this. I thought it was just a gimmick knife or whatever, until I made friends with someone who had been a Gurkha in Nepal, actual Gurkha soldier. And that's when he showed me a demonstration video on how this is used. And so it does make a useful tool in the field. Once I learned how to use it, I've been using it quite a bit. It also, when you got good 90-degree spines, makes a good striker for a ferrocerium rod. Sometimes it's called, even when you see the kits for the Kukris, sometimes it's called the fire striker because it's used for making fires. But it's a very hardened piece of steel. You can tell the difference when you get to them. If you can't, tell which is which, the one that's got the little bit of a knife bevel is actually a knife. It'll be blunt when you get it. You're going to have to take a file and sharpen it and make a knife. Another one has absolutely nothing. It's just square all the way around. That's your, I think it's called a carda or a chakma, but that's what that's for. And it does a good job at cleaning the sap. It also does a good job at truing up the edge. So if your edge is kind of rolled a little bit to one side, you can bear down and straighten it back up and keep it from rolling. It will actually do that. And it acts kind of like a carbide scraper in some instances. Depends on how hard it is and how the kami made it. I've been lucky and had this one. I had one time on a kukri that was way too soft, and I had one that was so hard I couldn't even scratch it with a file. And it's 90-degree edges. You could actually bear down and see pieces of steel coming off the kukri. And I know the edge of a kukri is around a 60 or so. So they can make them hard. Hope this gives you an idea, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.